Steve Tobin, mechanic at large. I am here with my 2008 Saturn Aura XR 3.6 18-inch rims. Actually a pretty fast car. I like it. Got about between 250 and 260 horsepower. Took off the resonator, put a K&N filter in underneath the hood there. So yeah. But what we're here for today is, you see the spring? Coil spring, it snapped off. It's broken. It's supposed to be under here. This is the plastic boot that holds it in place. So yeah, it's definitely want to get this out of here. When I've had the car on the ground, I noticed it. I was able to push it from the hood. The guys, I had noticed I was able to push it from the hood. So I was doing this. When it was on the ground, I would push this side. Then I'd come over here and I'd push this side. And I could definitely tell a difference between the two. This side over here was bouncing quite a bit more. So I went ahead and took a look. And sure enough, the spring broke. I have a feeling this thing's been broke for a little while here, because the spring is completely gone. It's not just cracked somewhere, you know, it's like gone. This is supposed to be way underneath here, and this is supposed to be supporting it here as well. So what we got to do is we got to take this control arm bolt here and on this side where it is, and then that's going to go ahead and lower this. I've got one jack. We've got two jack stands. I've got the wheel underneath the car for extra safety, so basically 4 points of contact. I got my other jack over here. Got my compressor, Husky tool, 650 pounds of torque. That's all going to work. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen up this control arm. Actually, you're going to want to take in this bolt. If you can see right underneath there, that's going to take that off. And when that comes off, if this lever mechanism, once I put this other jack underneath it, that's what I'm going to be used to facilitate that thing going to lever mechanism going up and down. I may need to get into the inner bolts, which are way over there, and I'm not sure if I'll need to do that or not. I'm hoping I won't have to. I'm hoping that it's going to be able to rotate itself on that axis. If not, I'll have to get in there, see if I can possibly get in with the power drill or not, because it's kind of tight there by the exhaust on the one side and then the frame of the car on the other side. But I'm going to go ahead and get on that and loosen this up here and then support it with the jack, and hopefully we won't need to do the inner one, and then I'll get it back to you guys. Alright. And I went ahead and got the spring off. As you can see, the broken spring is free. And what we had to do is we had to loosen up this nut, which is somewhere around here. And that basically takes it away from the knuckle, the brake knuckle, which is held up by this. So it's pretty rigid. You don't have to worry about holding that up. And it's got this is where the sway bar link pin also goes in. And this is the control arm right here. I did have to go back there and loosen that bolt up. I had to spray some WD-40 on there. And it's an 18 millimeter, so I initially was going to use the breaker bar, but I didn't have an 18 millimeter long. I only had an 18 millimeter short, so I put it on there, and the ratchet was only on part way, but at least the bolt was on all the way. The ratchet was on, the socket was on all the way, and I used this little thing here, doohickey, to go into the ratchet. Put a little leverage, pulled it up, held the other side a little. Yep, came right down, nice and easy peasy. Got the rubber grommet back into place. This rubber grommet here. And so we're going to go ahead and put the spring over here and hook it in here, then take the jack right here and put it underneath here and jack this up and get this lined up. I'm going to put my bolt through here, and then I'll tighten that up and tighten this up, and then we'll be done. So I'll be back once I have that on there, and also I'll show you guys the comparison between the MOOG springs having 8 and the GM springs having 6 on the turns. Guys, this is the original spring, broken. This is the MOOG. It has 8 turns as opposed to 6, but if this one was all the way, it'd probably about to right there or so, and that would be the same height. So just, you know, 8 turns versus 6 turns. Looks like the stock one is potentially a little bit thicker, but I don't know. It's got some plastic on here covering on it. I suppose this one doesn't have that, or maybe it does, but it seems like it's paint. But anyway, these are the MOOGs. This is the right part number. It comes up. This is the part number right here, people. MOOG Tough Coil CC81365. I found the same thing on 3 different websites. Wound up getting this from Advance. Pretty expensive, but you have a 20% discount, 25% discount, so it wasn't so bad. But yeah, if you go to Rock Auto, something like that, these things were like 70 bucks with shipping, 75 bucks with shipping. I wound up paying about $92 to get them over at Advance, so it's more money. But you know, if I have to return them, I don't have to pay for any for shipping and all that stuff. Plus it's local. I get it right away instead of having to wait 3 or 4 days. Wait for this box to stop tipping over. It talks about a square end identification. So basically, whatever that means, I don't know. I don't know what it means by tapered versus non-tapered. I don't see any difference between them. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the white tip facing up, like they say here in this description. And we'll be back. As you can see, the new strut is in place, and right down here, the knuckle, we're in place on that side, and we're in place on that side. I'm not sure if you can see that with the way the camera is. I'm not sure how, oh, there it is right there. See right there? So what I had to do basically is, this is independent suspension, so that even though this brakes, you would think brakes stay still by themselves. You got this trailing arm, you got this arm right here, you got this one here in the middle, and you have the control arm down. You basically have 3 points of contact, people. So you have 1, 2, and then you have 3. So this one actually moves with the brake. I did this with a Grand Am with a strut, and it was only the strut that being affected. The brake was held in solidly, so this one's a little different. But you basically have to take this jack and jack this up, but when you do that, this actually moves a little bit. So it did take 2 people here, and basically we just jimmied it in there. I was able to just adjust this and get it in there. Now I'm just going to hand tighten this. I really don't feel like, I may use the gun to finish it up. And once I do that, you got to do the one over here, and then we're done. So yeah, you can see spring is in, and then we just did the one side today because that was the one that was broken. I showed you guys a video of that before, and I don't want to feel like doing both of them today. Don't really need to drive this car right away, so probably tomorrow or the next day I'll finish up the other one just to make sure both springs are even on the same side. And that's the way it goes, people. So again, Steve here with Mechanics at Large, and we just did the rear coil spring, passenger side, on a 2008 Saturn Aura XR V6. And there it is. Later.